My sister forbids me from coming to her wedding if I bring my boyfriend, with whom I've been together for 5 years. He's very close to my family, kind, caring. He was there for the birth of my niece, her christening, with us during Christmas holidays, and so on. We're in a serious relationship and want to be together long term, but we're not planning a wedding yet because we want to become financially stable and achieve our career goals first. My sister has been dating her fiancé for 2 years and has been engaged for 6 months. She's one of those girls who's dreamed of a wedding since childhood. It didn't matter to her who proposed, as long as she got married. For me, though, getting married was never a priority. What matters to me is having a good career and a happy relationship. At the start of her relationship, she tricked me into going on a double date with her fiancé and his brother. She told me it was just dinner with her and her friend, but it turned out to be something completely different. The brother spent the whole evening hitting on me, even though I told him multiple times that I have a boyfriend. It was incredibly uncomfortable. At their engagement party, my boyfriend noticed that this brother couldn't take his eyes off me, and we tried to avoid him. Every time I ran into this guy, he acted weird around me. My sister wanted me and my twin sister, we're fraternal twins, and our two brothers to be part of her wedding ceremony. The wedding was supposed to happen in early May, so next month. Recently, my sister told me I'd be walking down the aisle with her fiancé's brother. I told her he creeps me out, and that I thought I'd be walking with my own brother. Turns out, this was her fiancé's demand, and she wants to please him. I think it's a pretty strange request, and I'm convinced there's some kind of scheme between these brothers. My other siblings also think it's weird and have voiced their displeasure, but my sister said it's her wedding, and she can do whatever she wants. When I told my boyfriend about all this, he got upset. He's confident and knows this guy isn't a threat to him, but he understands how uncomfortable this situation makes me. Recently, we had a family dinner at my mom's house, and I decided to use the moment to discuss this with her. My sister immediately started sobbing, accusing me of trying to ruin her marriage. I was completely baffled, as was everyone else, and I tried to explain that this guy makes both me and my boyfriend really uncomfortable. Then she declared that I can't bring my boyfriend to her wedding, and if I do, I'll no longer be her bridesmaid. She gave no explanation as to why I specifically can't bring him. My brothers and sister were outraged by her decision too. They love my boyfriend way more than they like her fiancé. I thought I'd give her a couple of days to cool off and think it over, but her stance hasn't changed. Meanwhile, our 19-year-old brother's girlfriend is invited to the wedding. My boyfriend is an amazing person. He's always been kind and generous to my sister. He's really upset but still wants me to go to the wedding. I think my sister is acting like an unreasonable idiot, and if I end up at the wedding without my partner, I'll feel deeply hurt. I'm fine with skipping the bridesmaid role. So, should I bring my boyfriend anyway, or demand that my sister rethink her absurd decision? I love her, but I don't understand why she's so insistent on this ridiculous requirement, especially considering how creepy her future brother-in-law is. I don't know what to do, and my family isn't helping. Update 1. A few days ago, I wrote that my sister, 31, told me I can't be at her wedding if I bring my boyfriend, 26, with whom I've been together for 5 years. Most commenters suggested I skip the wedding altogether, but she's my sister, and I don't want to miss the event. I went to my parents with my brothers and explained everything, how this guy behaves toward me, and how my sister doesn't respect my relationship. My dad was furious about her double-date trick and took my side. My mom, on the other hand, said I should try to smooth things over because if I'm not at the wedding, people will talk, though honestly, I don't care what distant relatives think. Mom organized a family meeting and invited my sister and twin sister. Dad asked my sister why I'm no longer walking down the aisle with my brother, and she said it's her fiancé's wish, and she just wants to make him happy. She pressed her, asking why it's so important for them that I walk with this guy. He's creepy, and I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to harass me. That really set her off. She started crying and screaming that this is everything she's ever dreamed of, and we're trying to ruin her special day, blah blah blah. I was tired of arguing and just said I'd come to the wedding as a guest but leave right after the ceremony. My twin sister and younger brother backed me up, saying they wouldn't participate in the wedding either if I'm not in the wedding party. My sister completely lost it. She started shrieking insults, some of which I can't repeat here, including ones aimed at my boyfriend. I decided to leave and let my parents deal with her tantrum. But as I was heading out, she lunged at me and grabbed my hair. She wouldn't let go, so I grabbed hers back, and she finally released me. She has hair extensions, and I guess I pulled so hard I ripped out a few strands. She tried to grab me again, and I reflexively hit her in the face. I didn't mean to, but it was an instant reaction to her attack. Now she has a black eye, a scratch on her cheek, and thinner hair. She's furious because her bachelorette party is next week. Mom's mad at me, Dad isn't, and my sister's now threatening to take me to court. Can she actually do that, or is she just bluffing? She's also livid that my siblings refuse to participate in the wedding. She told Mom that if I apologize and agree to be a bridesmaid, she'll let me walk with my brother as originally planned. I'm sure that's nonsense, and she'll still force me to walk with her brother-in-law at the last minute. Right now, I feel like all this drama isn't worth it, and I don't even want to go to the wedding. My parents want me to do what my sister asks because they're paying for it, and want all their kids there. My twin sister and younger brother said they'll do whatever I decide, but I don't want them to miss out because of me. My boyfriend feels like this whole mess is his fault, even though he's done nothing wrong. My sister thinks I ruined her wedding, but she did that herself. I don't know what to do. I have 3 options. 1. Go as a guest. 2. Be in the wedding party. Or 3. Not go at all. My parents will be upset if I don't go, and I really don't want more tension in the family, but she doesn't respect me or my relationship. Once this wedding is over, I'm done. Update 2. First off, I had no idea how much my post blew up until I checked online a few days ago. When I first posted, there were about 30 comments. Now there are thousands, and I've gotten tons of messages. A lot of people are asking why I'm not responding or clarifying things. I don't feel obligated to reply to anyone. I've seen some wild theories, and even comments from people hoping my sister attacks me again, suggesting I call the police on her or scream, rape, at her wedding. While that's entertaining, unfortunately, this isn't a movie, it's my real life. In this post, I'll try to answer some questions. Some asked if this conflict is about race. No, my family is French and Puerto Rican, my boyfriend is Italian, and my sister's fiancé is also white. I don't even know his exact background. It's not about money either. My family isn't rich, but is middle class. The reason my parents are paying for her wedding and not mine is that I went to college, and they covered most of my education, while she didn't go. I don't want a big wedding, so I don't need their funding. People also asked why my parents don't refuse to pay for the wedding after all this mess. It's because the wedding's already been paid for, and the money's non-refundable. As for her bachelorette party, she went through with it despite the black eye. She switched the venue to a darker spot and caked on makeup. That night, my twin sister, brothers, my boyfriend, and I went to a club and got smashed, just letting loose. A friend of my sister's later told me she told everyone she'd hit her face on a car door, not that I'd punched her. My sister's always been a bit unhinged. In school, she constantly fought with my twin sister. Every breakup she had was a full-on meltdown. She'd shut down like her life was over, starting when she was 12. I've argued with my parents multiple times about how they let her get away with tantrums, and that's partly why I chose to go to college in another state. During those years, we barely talked. When I moved back, it seemed like she'd matured, and for a while, we had a decent relationship. But clearly, she still has massive freakouts over nothing, like with this wedding. I messaged her future brother-in-law, asking why he and his brother are so fixated on me, but he didn't reply. Then my dad went to see him and found out my sister had convinced him I was interested in him and would dump my boyfriend. So now I don't even know who came up with this nonsense first. Dad was pissed and told him to leave me and my boyfriend alone. I've been telling my sister for years she needs therapy, but she always refuses. I tried convincing my mom to get her to at least do family therapy with me, but she refused to, though she initially seemed open to talking when she first started dating her fiancé. She brought him to a New Year's work party, and he brought his brother. I was there too. He was her first boyfriend who showed any interest in marriage. One time, his brother said he really liked me, and my sister immediately decided everything for me. She told him I wasn't in a serious relationship, even though I'd been with my boyfriend for 3 years by then. According to her, the brother had a great shot with me because he was perfect for me. Except he's not. Because of that, he lived under the delusion that my boyfriend was just temporary, which is total nonsense. None of this makes sense, especially since my twin sister is single. We're fraternal twins, not identical, different heights, different personalities, but she's still gorgeous and available. Maybe my sister's been jealous of my relationship this whole time and tried to sabotage it. She's said before that she'll never have a relationship like mine with my boyfriend. About a month ago, right before her ultimatum, she found out she's pregnant. I didn't know that then. She thinks if the brother thing doesn't work out, her fiancé will leave her, and the idea of being a single mom terrifies her more than her family's resentment. She still has time to figure things out, but for some reason, she's clinging to this mess. We talked a lot, and at one point, I snapped and said something like, "It's a shame you're so pathetic that you date anyone who looks at you and still can't build a decent relationship. He'll divorce you in a month anyway." It was harsh, but I was furious and wanted to say worse. My boyfriend is adamant that we should go to the wedding despite all this crap. He doesn't have close ties with his own siblings, but always wanted to be part of my family, and wants me to stay connected so I don't regret it later. Still, it stings that my sister tried so hard to exclude him. I keep reassuring him that everyone loves him, and I'll always be there. We're going to the ceremony as guests and leaving right after the itos. My 2 brothers and twin sister are going as a trio. We took a family wedding photo in a park beforehand so my parents have at least one decent picture with us, and honestly, we looked awesome. They'll decide if they stay longer based on how it goes. My older brother's staying till the end to keep an eye on the brother-in-law and maybe talk to him. Some suggested my boyfriend propose to me at my sister's wedding, but I don't want to deliberately ruin her day. It wouldn't achieve anything, and I don't want a public proposal anyway. I think it's tacky. My boyfriend and I are just enjoying each other and not stressing about this nonsense. I'm not worried about my sister attacking me again, but if she does, I'll wipe the floor with her. She can't fight. I still don't get why she came at me that time. Someone asked if it's incest if sisters date brothers. No, not at all. I even have cousins married to sisters. Not that I'm defending this mess, but it's not incest. At the wedding, I wore my bridesmaid dress because I wasn't buying another one, and it was gorgeous. My boyfriend and I arrived as late as possible to avoid family questions about why I'm not in the ceremony. A few aunts and uncles asked, and I just said my sisters lost it. Let them ask her. I stuck close to my cousins, who I'd filled in on what happened. Those who knew my boyfriend got uninvited were furious, especially since some guests brought random plus ones. We sat in the front row so my sister, her husband, and his brother could see me with my incredibly handsome, smart, loving boyfriend. He held my hand the whole time and made sure I was okay. This wedding convinced me I don't need a big wedding, just a party at most. The one time that brother stared at me, I shut it down by kissing my boyfriend. When the newlyweds walked back down the aisle, I said goodbye to the people who deserved it, and we left. Afterward, we hit a bar, danced, and had a blast. I'm glad I went so I can say, I told you so, when this marriage falls apart in 6 months. It'll feel good knowing that Creep saw me kiss the man I love, a man he'll never be. My twin sister got pretty drunk at the wedding and didn't hold back talking to my sister. I didn't ask her to say anything, but she would have anyway, drunk or not. My younger brother spilled to almost the whole family that my sister threw a fit, which is why I wasn't at the reception. My older brother talked to the brother-in-law, but I didn't ask what he said, just passing on what I was told. Honestly, I feel bad for my sister. She trapped herself with this useless parasite. Her husband has 0 qualities worth all this drama and family fallout. I wish she had more self-respect and higher standards. I don't know much about their relationship. If he's a user, I hope she's not so desperate to put up with it. Maybe they do love each other, or maybe he's just using her. Who knows? This marriage might not last long, but now she's tied to him for at least 18 years because of the kid. I get her fear of being a single mom in a way. My brother's raising a kid alone and doing great, but I'm not planning to talk to her anytime soon. I still don't have a clear answer on how much her husband was involved in his useless brother's obsession. After all the digging, I'm still not sure if it was their joint plan or just my sister's doing. Those brothers were either neglected as kids or breastfed until they were 15. This summer, my boyfriend and I were already planning a trip, but now I might extend it. Who knows, maybe we'll even get married in France just for fun. Thanks for the support. Sorry if the ending isn't as dramatic as you hoped. I'm over it, and just want to move on, be happy, and not deal with this asylum anymore. I'm glad I haven't gotten any messages from the brother-in-law or my mom, and that I have an amazing man. If I didn't clarify something, a lot of your comments made my boyfriend laugh.